Okay, so let's jump into these fall battles. Some of these, I wouldn't say they're battles because let's just get it started and I'll explain. Running back. Cedric Baxter versus Jaden Blue. This isn't a battle, in my opinion, because someone's getting 65, 60% of the carries. The other one's getting 35 to 40% of the carries. Cedric Baxter last year in his freshman season, 13 games, 659 yards rushing, only 4.8 yards per carry, 156 yards receiving, and 5 touchdowns total. Had injury issues, guys. Every time I saw him either deliver a big hit or get a big hit, he was limping off to the sideline. He has to gain muscle and gain armor. He has to. This guy's super talented. I really like him. When he was healthy, he was explosive. But if he's always going to be nicked up, he will never reach his full potential, a la Jonathan Gray about a decade back when the 5-star came in, highly touted, kept getting injured, never amounted to what he was supposed to do. I'm really hoping Cedric Baxter can stay healthy because the guy is obviously talented. He was the number 1 ranked running back coming out of high school last year. When he's on the field, he's really good. The physicality that comes to mind to me, guys, Alabama. He delivered a hit on the sideline of Alabama, stood over the guy. I forget who the player was. Might have been Deontay Lawson, which was even more impressive. But this guy, in me, has to gain weight, especially muscle, and lower his pad level. He runs very stiff and high up. He's got to get lower, guys. And then Jaden Blue, in my opinion, the best running back on the team. I've said this for a while now. 98 yards rushing, 6.1 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns, 135 yards receiving, and 1 touchdown. I will say this. Cedric Baxter is pretty good out of the backfield catching. He's better than most fans think he is. He's not Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue is the most electric pass-catching wide receiver or running back we've had, since Jamal Charles. That's my opinion, but that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to say since Jamal Charles. And he's just explosive when he gets the ball in his hands. It gets an open field. Tracked it over 22 miles per hour last year. And he even said, I was taking it easy. And he was. If you go watch the game, I think it was either Tech or Wyoming. After 10 yards, there's no one near him, so he kind of slowed down. I think he could touch 24 miles an hour. This guy is special to me. This guy give it to him. He can break a tackle, take it to the house. If I'm distributing carries, guys, I'm giving Jaden Blue 60% of the carries. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be 60-40 Cedric Baxter. And I'm not saying total carries. I'm saying split between the two. Obviously, Christian Clark, Jared Gibson, Trey Wisner will get some carries in there. I'm just saying between the two main running backs, I think it's going to be 60-40 Baxter, when in my opinion, it should be 60-40 Blue. But that is your running back camp battle. Next up, the wide receiver position. Not the top-end talent that we had last year, but the depth is there. 7 wide receivers, all mentioned at SEC Media Days by Steve Sarkisian, but he doesn't play 7 wide receivers. He never really has. It's always 4 guys, and then a 5th guy gets some play, and then that's really it. So does he really mean that? We will find out, because he's never meant it in the past. I will say this. He's never had a wide receiver room this deep. All of his tend to come off at about the 4th guy. The 5th guy, there is a fall off. I don't think there's a fall off. I think all 70 of these guys are really good players. I have put a couple things on record in the past. I said Jonathan Brooks would be better than Bijan Robinson in his 1 year at Texas. He was when he was healthy. I said Byron Murphy was going to be a freak. He turned out to be a freak. I already said Ryan Wingo with Mark. I think Ryan Wingo is the most talented and will be the most productive wide receiver since Roy Williams. I really want to say out of these 7 wide receivers that all 7 make the NFL. I really want to say that, but I can't say it. I can't say it. I think all 7 have a chance, though. And I will say this. I think 6 out of the 7 of these guys play in the NFL for at least 3 years plus. I'm going to say that. I'm not going to say all 7, but I think 6 out of 7 do. And we will get into these 7 wide receivers. Isaiah Bond last year, 14 games at Alabama, 668 yards on 48 receptions and 4 touchdowns. Matthew Golden in 9 games at Houston, 38 receptions, 404 yards, 6 touchdowns. Silas Bolden, 13 games at Oregon State, 54 receptions, 746 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And DeAndre Moore, Ryan Niblett, Ryan Wingo, and Jonte Cook have no catches between them, but DeAndre Moore, 4-star, Ryan Niblett, 4-star, Ryan Wingo, freshman, 5-star, and sophomore Jonte Cook, 5-star. Very, very talented room. Not the high-end production that you had last year. How do I think these snaps will be divvied up? First off, I don't think there's going to be a designated X, Y, and Z guy. I don't. I think Sark's going to blend these guys all around, play multiple spots. Do I think they'll play in mostly one position? Absolutely I do. I think Isaiah Bond will probably be your X most of the time. I think Silas Bolden, when he is on the field, will be the Z most of the time, maybe the Y. I think DeAndre Moore will be in the slot or the Y most of the time when he's on the field. Ryan Niblett, I think, is probably an X or Z. I think Ryan Wingo is definitely an X or Z. And then Jonte Cook could probably play all three, honestly. So Z's more in motion. X is usually your best receiver. Y is the tight end or slot, guys, just to clarify that. My gosh. Okay. Snap-wise, I'm literally doing this right now. I think snap-wise, I think Isaiah Bond is your number one in snaps. I think number 2 on the season, Matthew Golden is your number 2 in snaps. Number 3 on the season, I think Ryan Wingo is going to be your number 3 in snaps. I can't believe I'm saying that. Silas Bolden is going to be your number 4. Jonte Cook's going to be your number 5. DeAndre Moore is going to be your number 6. And Ryan Niblett's going to be your number 7. That's why I think that's going to shake up snaps count-wise. I think, like I said, I think Bond, Bolden, Golden, and Ryan Wingo are going to be able to play almost all positions here. I think Moore's most of it, if not all of it's going to be in the slot. Niblett is going to be on the outside. Don't see much slot. And Jonte Cook, I think, is going to, honestly, will probably be all around too. But don't remember, Xavier Worthy played on the outside and weighed 165 pounds. Silas Bolden's going to play on the outside at some point. He is. He's not just going to be a slot wide receiver. He's going to be the Z, actually, in most of these. I think he'll be in motion a lot at the time. I think the most reliable guy, your third down guys, are going to be Matthew Golden and DeAndre Moore. Jordan Whittington said DeAndre Moore's up next. He said DeAndre Moore is smart. He knows the route trees. He knows blocking. He's physical. I think he's going to be the third down guy here in the slot. And I think Matthew Golden is already being said that he has the most chemistry with Quinn Ewers. So I think Matthew Golden and DeAndre Moore are going to be your third down movers, chain movers. I think Isaiah Bond's kind of your do-it-all guy. And I think Silas Bolden's your gadget running down the field in motion guy. That's what I think is going to happen here. And I think Ryan Wingo is going to be a jack of all trades as well. I think Isaiah Bond and Ryan Wingo are going to be your biggest jack of all trades and be able to do most of, if not all of everything. I like this room a lot. Like I said, the top 4 for me are going to be Bond, Golden, Bolden, and Wingo. Ryan Wingo coming in 3rd there, not 4th. And then I think Jonte Cook is 5th. And I think Jonte Cook's a hell of a player, but I think he's your 5th wide receiver. I do. I think he's going to be your 5th best wide receiver at the end of the year. I think he's going to have – that's how it's going to come down snap-wise and probably production-wise too. Because if his production's better, he'll move up. But I think production, he's going to end up 5th, and snap-wise he'll end up 5th. I'm sorry to say that. And there's a chance he transfers. There really is. Because I think you're going to get Khalid Lockett and Jamie French, and then Ryan Wingo's coming back next year, and there's a possibility for Golden to be back as well. So it's a good room, guys. It's going to be fun. It really is. You're going to see way more motion, more screens, more attacking down the field with this team. I really like it. It's going to be fun. I think you're going to see a lot of those shallow crossing routes too, like Ohio State did. Just give it to Silas Bolden 3 to 4 yards ahead of on the line of scrimmage and let him run. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. I'm really excited for it. Next up, again, kind of like the running back, not a true battle here, but Gunnar Helm and Amari Niblack. Gunnar Helm last year, 14 receptions, 192 yards, 2 touchdowns as a senior. This year, and Amari Niblack coming over from Alabama last year at Bama had 20 receptions, 327 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Gunnar Helm's going to be the starter. I'm just as shocked as you guys are. I thought going into last year, Gunnar Helm's NFL prospects were nil. Then I watched him, and I was wrong. That is something I was wrong on. I thought he was a 6th, 7th round pick. I think there's a chance he's a 3rd or 4th round pick. Guys, there might be a chance he gets drafted higher than Jatavian Sanders did last year. That's how good I think Gunnar Helm can be in this offense. He's a better blocker than Jatavian Sanders. I think he's a better route runner than Jatavian Sanders. He's not as good of an athlete in space as Jatavian Sanders, but I think he's craftier. I think he knows how to get open better. I think he's more of a Jason Witten type at the tight end position. I think he's going to have a hell of a year. I think when there is one tight end out there, which is going to be pretty rare because Sark loves 12 personnel with 2 tight ends, I think Gunnar Helm will be the guy. I do. I think you'll see him a lot more in the red zone than Amari Niblack. I think you'll see Amari Niblack attacking vertically a lot and some screens with him as well is how you'll see him being used. But in the red zone, it's going to be Gunnar Helm. Amari Black will probably be the guy used about the same amount as Gunnar Helm in between the 20s. I think they'll split there, but I think the red zone is where Gunnar Helm's going to eat. I really do. And on third down, I think he's going to be really good at moving the chains. But that is your battle at the tight end position. They're both going to get a lot of snaps. Like I said, Sark loves to play 12 personnel. This is going to be a lot of fun, guys, to watch. Like I said, I think these rooms are deeper this year. I don't know if they have the top end talent that they did last year. At the one offensive line position, guys, at the one, I don't know who's going to win it. Left guard, Cole Hudson, Neto Zulu, or Hayden Connor. That's going to be your start at the left guard position. Hayden Connor has held that down for most of the time as long as he's been at Texas. Cole Hudson did play a lot as a freshman. He had 13 starts as a freshman, 9 games since then. He was injured a lot last year, though, which did hold him back. Neto has only played in 8 games, no starts. He's a junior. He's in the same class as DJ Campbell and Kelvin Banks, the 2022 class, which is a special offensive line class. And then Hayden Connor has 27 starts in 35 games. I think out of this room, Neto has the highest upside. I don't think he is the most ready at this moment. I don't think he starts the season at the left guard spot, and I don't think he should. Michigan is in week 2. Do I trust Neto in his second start at the Big House? Not really. I will say this, though. He is in the right spot. He's between Jake Majors and Kelvin Banks. It would help him out if he did start. But I think Cole Hudson wins the job. I think Cole Hudson had a decent freshman season. He had a typical freshman season. Everyone points to Kelvin Banks, as they should. That is not normal. It is not normal to come in and dominate first game as a freshman. Cole Hudson was typical. It was, wow, he's pretty damn good. Wow, he's pretty terrible. Wow, he's okay. Wow, he's great. Wow, he's okay. He just kept going back and forth, and that's what he was as a freshman. Then the injuries came along, and we haven't really seen it. I think he's going to be a pretty damn good player if he does get the chance. I think he starts at the beginning of the season. I don't know if he finishes because Neto may be able to push him and maybe get in that starting spot, but I think it's time to move on from Hayden Connor. I like Hayden Connor. He's a decent player. I'm not going to say good. He's a decent player. But for this team to reach that upper echelon status, I think you need a really good guard here. And I think Cole Hudson or Neto is the answer there. I think there's higher upside there, higher potential there. I've seen enough of Hayden to know he's not going to be a great – he may not even play in the NFL. We'll see. He may not even make it to the NFL. I think there's a chance Cole Hudson and Neto do. I think they have that upside. I would go with Cole Hudson to start. If he struggles, I would put in Neto, but I'd go with Cole Hudson to start. I don't know what the coaches are going to go with. I have no idea. They may just go with the safe one, put Hayden Connor, since you have 4 out of 5 returning offensive linemen, basically, or 3 out of 5 because Cam Williams haven't played, but Cam Williams will be fine. I'm not even worried about him, but we'll see if they replace him here and make it 3 out of 5. It's going to be interesting. It really is. I have no idea, but I think Cole Hudson does win the job, at least for me. Next up, defensive tackle. We have one lockdown. Alfred Collins is going to be a starter at the defensive tackle position when we go with 4 down linemen. He will be in there. He was good last year. He was like a Pro Football Focus rate of, I believe, like 79. And when you compare that to, we add in Byron Murphy and Tavondre Sweat, who are 1 and 2 in Pro Football Focus grades at like 90 and 91. It's not great. But when you compare it to the rest of college football, it's a good grade. I believe when we were talking about Washington last year, Alfred Collins would have been the best defensive tackle Washington faced, Pro Football Focus grade-wise. So that tells you he's a good player. Is he a great player? No, but he's a good player, and I trust him. This is where it gets interesting. There's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names that are competing for that second spot. 7. You have Alex January, the freshman, who has been making names apparently. And there's a real chance, guys, he plays more snaps than the 5-star freshman at defensive end and Colin Simmons. That is crazy because this guy was only a 3-star. They were teammates at Duncanville, but he's been looking great. We'll see if that continues in the fall. Bill Norton from Arizona, 32 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, 0 sacks. He is the run anchor on this defense. He is the nose tackle. He will line up over the ball. He is the run anchor. He's not great at getting after the passer, obviously, with 0 sacks. But he's good at eating up space, eating double teams up, and stopping the run, anchoring the defensive line. Tia Sevilla, also from Arizona, 22 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks. Better at run defense than Bill Norton. He's not just good at eating up space. He can get in the backfield, cause a little mayhem there. I expect all these guys that I'm naming to get some type of playing time. Aaron Bryant appeared in 7 games, 6'2", 305 pounds, 4-star sophomore. He is the second best run defender, apparently, or anchor, I should say. Sorry, anchor on this team behind Bill Norton. So I think you're going to see him rotate in there when Bill Norton is gassed at anchoring and being the nose tackle, lining up over the ball. And I got to eat some crow on this. I said he wouldn't play that much this year. I'm taking that back. I think he's going to play quite a bit. I think he's going to get 15% of the snaps, which is quite a bit for a lineman, especially when you're this deep. Sadir Mitchell, 6'6", 350 pounds, appeared in 4 games. That question, my question mark is the weight. Is he really 350? Has he ever been 350? Since he stepped on Texas campus, he was always between 365 and 375. If he's 350, he will play, and he will play well. If he's not, he will ride the bench, and he may not see the field, guys. And if he doesn't see the field, he'll probably transfer, and I really hope he sees the field. This guy's a good player. Georgia tried to flip this guy twice. That's how good of a player he is, and he can't stop eating. That is his biggest issue, is eating. Stop eating. Stop. If you stop eating, and I should say this, when I mean stop eating, eat healthier, make better decisions. You will be a millionaire if you do that. That's how talented you are. You are a freak. If this guy was in shape, I would say he's our second best defensive lineman behind Alfred Collins. Maybe even the best. He probably has the most talent out of this whole group, and he just can't get in shape. It's a sad story, man, and I hope someone can get to him. I really do, because he has a lot of talent. Jere Bledsoe, I think, will end up being the second best guy. It's the opposite. He doesn't have as much talent as Sadir Mitchell, but he's taken the talent that he does have, and he is very talented. He just doesn't have as much as Sadir Mitchell, and he's run with it. He's played great in the spring. Everything anyone's writing about or talking about, he's looking good going into the fall. If he can play well in the fall, I think he's going to play a lot this rotation. I honestly think he probably gets the second or third most snaps. So look out for Jere Bledsoe in his sophomore season. And then the guy that's second to me right now is Jermaine Lole. 19 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, and 1.5 sacks at Louisville last year. But his 2019 season, this is special, guys. This is all-American type stuff. 72 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, and 6.5 sacks. If he could repeat that season, he's an All-American. He won't, though, because of the injuries. They've taken a toll. That's why he's in his 7th year. I just need last year's production. I need 20 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks. Give me that and a little bit more, and we're talking. We're talking. Because if you can get that, and then 2 or 3 of these guys also do that, you made up the production in aggregate of what Sweat and Murphy did. And that's what I think you have here. Bill Norton's a good player. TSB is a good player. I think Aaron Bryant's going to be a pretty good player. Jere Bledsoe's going to play and be a good player. Jermaine Lole's going to play and be a good player. Vernon Broughton, I've kind of given up on. He is what he is. He'll get up there, cause pass rush disruption, but he'll get run over in the run game. But you have a nice mix here. You have guys that are anchors in Bill Norton and Aaron Bryant. And then I think Sadir Mitchell, if he gets his weight together, can be that. And then the rest of these guys are kind of havoc players, and I think Alfred Collins can do a little bit of both. So I like this room, again, depth-wise. High-end talent is not as good as last year, and I wouldn't expect it to be getting rid of the best, in my opinion, the best defensive tackle combo in the country and probably in the history of Texas football. So hard to replace that. We're not going to be as good as we were there last year. We were an A+ there last year. But do I think we can be a B+? Yes, I do. I think there's enough talent here. And Sadir Mitchell, my God, man, please, I will eat my words. They could be an A+ in the interior if he's actually 350. If he's actually 350, we're talking special defensive line. We're talking special because I like the edges, but the interior is my question mark. But I do think Alfred Collins will have a good year. He's always had a good year. Can he have a great year is the question. And all these other guys will get playing time. I think it's going to be Alfred Collins, Jermaine Lole to start out. I think if we're talking snap-wise, you're going to see Tia Savia and Bill Norton next, and then you'll see Jere Bledsoe and Aaron Bryant in there too. I think Vernon Broughton's actually going to get pushed out. I really do. No offense, you've been here too long, man, and you haven't produced. So I think you'll play, but I think we'll end up being 5th or 6th in snaps at the end of the year. Next up is the second cornerback position. It's going to be Gavin Holmes or Javion Cole. Gavin Holmes, in last year, 14 games, 16 tackles, 2 passes defended. He actually had a high Pro Football Focus grade, upper 70s, but he needs to get back to this. This is why he came to the University of Texas. This is why he's recruited to the University of Texas. 2022 Wake Forest. 23 tackles, 9 passes defended. I believe he was second team all ACC. Has to get back to that form, because if not, I think this guy's going to start at the cornerback position. Javion Cole last year was great. 13 games, 38 tackles, 10 passes defended, 3 interceptions, a 40.8 passer rating when targeted, 86.2 Pro Football Focus grade, number 1 in the Mountain West. Yes, is it the Mountain West? Yes, it is. But he's done a great job when he played good competition. He did. If you go watch the USC game, he was great in that game. I think he was targeted 4 or 5 times. I think they only completed 1 pass. I didn't watch the Oregon State game, but if you have an 86.2 Pro Football Focus grade and a 40.8 pass rating, I'm assuming you did pretty well. This guy's a ball hawk. If you watch him, he's a ball hawk. He knows how to play the ball. That is something Texas has been missing for a while at the cornerback position. Honestly, the secondary in general has been missing that. Gavin Holmes is a little bit more physical. Could I see a platoon like you did last year with Gavin Holmes and Terrence Brooks? Absolutely. I could see Gavin Holmes actually playing on running downs and coming in because he's more physical. I could see Javion Cole coming in on obvious passing situations, 3rd and 7 plus type thing, or 2nd and 10 plus. I could see Javion Cole coming in and Gavin Holmes coming out, because this guy makes plays on the ball. He fits the scheme. He does what PK likes to do, which is turnovers, create havoc. I think he can play for this Texas team. I really do. I think he's going to have a good year. He'll get some playing time. I think he's our second best cornerback as of right now. I think Kobe Black, the 5-star, could come in, but I'm not a fan of Gavin Holmes. He was way too inconsistent last year, and inconsistency in the SEC will get you killed. Javion Cole's more consistent, plays the ball better. We have enough run defenders on this team. I don't care if my cornerback's bad at stopping the run or even being physical at the line of scrimmage. Hell, you guys played off coverage most of the time last year anyway. So if you want to play off coverage, play Javion Cole. If you're going to actually press man coverage, fine, play Gavin Holmes. But you haven't done it while you've been here, PK. So why not run Javion Cole, who can play the ball better out there? So we'll see. But if they do want to play press man, maybe they do with Gavin Holmes, goes with Gavin Holmes as well. Maybe Javion Cole's more of a off man or zone guy. We'll see. It'll be interesting. It really is. A lot of these battles are interesting. I don't know what's going to happen.